जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदानंदन भज जन रंजना।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना।
यशोदानंदन भज जन रंजना।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना।
यमुना तीरा वनचारी।
जमुना तीरा वनचारी।
यमुना तीरा वनचारी।
यमुना तीरा वनचारी।
जय राधा माधव जय बिहारी। जय
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा
कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
जय राधा माधव राधा माधव। जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे। जय राधा गोविंद राधे। जय राधा गोविंद
राधा गोविंद राधे।
जय राधा गिरिधारी राधे। जय
राधा गिरिधरी जय राधे।
जय राधे जय राधे। जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय
जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे
जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा
जय प्रभुपद 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 जय प्रभुपद
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय
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 जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव श्री राधा माधव की जय श्री राधा गोविंद जी की जय श्री राधा गिरिधारी की जय श्री बलदेव सुभद्रा जगन्नाथ भगवान की जय श्री गौर निताई के जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। बोलिए ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वती व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्।
श्रुवन्तं स्वाकथा कृष्ण
शृण्वतां सकथा कृष्ण
पुण्ये सर्वनं कीर्तनम्
पुण्यश्रवणं कीर्तनम्
हृदयहन्तस्तो है अभद्राणि
हृदयन्तस्थ हि अभद्राणि
विधुनोति श्रुतसताम्
विधुनोति सुहृत् सताम्
नष्टप्रयासु अभद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भगवती उत्तम श्लोके
भगवतीरुत्तम श्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठकी।
Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the personality of God and Narayan, unto Nar Narayan Rishi, the supremest human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasdeva, the author of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his message, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the people, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality who is praised with transcendental song is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Namo Bhagavate Om Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namne Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschata Desatarni Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुक्तपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवं च Sri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Saudutam Parijana Sahita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Mitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Jaitam Sruto Pangoram Mandamater Gati Mata Sarvas Padam Bhoja Radha Madanamo Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavineshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanabhyo vaishnavyo namo namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rame 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rame 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna everyone, welcome to our morning Bhagavatam classes. Today's reading is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, the creation of the fourth Veda, and chapter 14, the story of King Vena. And today's text is text 19. Am I right, Mataji? Tasya Raghyo Mahabhaga Bhagavan Bhuta Bhavana Paritusyati Vishwatma Tishtato Nija Shasane Tasya Raghyo Mahabhaga Bhagavan Bhuta Bhavana Paritusyati Vishwatma Tishtato Nija Shasane. Somebody please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Prabhuji. Read.
Give me a try, please. Tasya Ragno Mahabhaga Bhagavan Bhuto Bhavan Paritushtati Vishwatma Tishtato Nija Shasane. Hare Krishna.
Somebody else, please. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Pranam.
Hare Dandavad Pranam.
Tasya rago mahabhaga Bhagavan bhuta bhavanaha Puritushyati vishasma Tishtato nija shasane. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hello, somebody else, please. Nobody else there?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhu.
Dandavad Pranam. Read.
Dandavad Pranam Prabhu. Tasya Rajno Mahabhaga Bhagavan Bhuta Pavanaha Paritushyati Vishwatma Tishtato Nija Shasane.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Anybody else? Why people are shy of reading the slogas?
I can try, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Tasya Rajyo Mahabhaga Bhagavan Bhuta Bhavanaha Paritushyati Vishwatma Tishtato Nija Shasane.
Thank you. Anybody? Somebody else, please. Nobody there? Okay. Tasya with him, Rajana, the king, Mahabhaga, O noble one, Bhagavan, the supreme personality of Godhead, Bhut Bhavana, who is the original cause of the cosmic manifestations. Paritusyati, becomes satisfied. Vishwa Atma, the super soul of the entire universe. Tishtata, being situated, Nija Sasane, in his own governing situation. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O noble one, if the king sees that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original cause of the cosmic manifestation, and the super soul within everyone is worshipped, the Lord will be satisfied. This is the sages addressing King Vena. The purpose, Srila Prabhupada writes, it is a fact that the government's duty is to see that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is satisfied by the activities of the people as well as by the activities of the government. There is no possibility of happiness if the government or citizenry have no idea of Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the original cause of the cosmic manifestation. Or if they have no knowledge of Buddha Bhava, who is Vishwa Atma, or the super soul, the soul of everyone's soul. The conclusion is that without engaging in devotional service, neither the citizens nor the government can be happy in any way. At the present moment, neither the king nor the governing body is interested in seeing that the people are engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rather, they are more interested in advancing the machinery of sense gratification. Consequently, they are becoming more and more implicated in the complex machinery of the stringent laws of nature. People should be freed from entanglement of the three modes of material nature. And the only process by which this is possible is surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the advice in Bhagavad Gita. Unfortunately, neither the government nor the people in general have any idea of this. They are simply interested in sense gratification and in being happy in this life. The word Nijasasana in his own governmental duty indicates that both the government and the citizens are responsible for the execution of Varnashram Dharma. Once the populace is situated in Varnashram Dharma, there is every possibility of real life and prosperity, both in this world and in the next. Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Lokanath Swami Niti Namne Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namne Namaste Saraswate Devi Gaurvani Pracharane Nirvisese Shunyavadi Paschate Mukam Karoti Vanchalum Pangum Nagadai Kirihim Yat Kirpatam Ham Bande Guruti Tarane. Hare Krishna, once again. Just recap the story briefly. After the disappearance of the King Anga, his son, though he was very notorious and evil, the sages appointed him, installed him as the king. Though knowing his past history, because the king himself, his father himself, had tried to improve him, but he failed, and because of that, he left in disgust and left the kingdom and family, just disappeared one night. And when the king started acting against the citizens and the sages as well, because he had stopped the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he had stopped all devotional or spiritual services, the yagna and any sort of devotional service. And when asked, he said, worship me. So the sages then decided to have a word with the king as a last ditch approach. Perhaps he will listen to the sages' good advice and mend his ways. So this is what they are telling King Van and addressing very nicely, "O noble one, If the king sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original cause of the cosmic manifestation, and the super soul within everyone is worshipped, the Lord will be satisfied. I mean, later on, we'll hear that he's got his own theory. King Ben has got own theories, criticizes the demigods, and then still claims himself to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead and wanting the citizens to worship him. So the sages then decide to take some drastic action because they had no option. I'm not going to go in detail what action they take. You all know the result. But anyway, in just to let you know what Chanak thought about it. One day he was going somewhere with his disciples, and on the way he stepped on a bush, thorny bush, and it pricked on his foot. So he sat down there and took the thorn out of his foot, and then went to a nearby shop to get some water. But they didn't have any water, but they had, buttermilk. So he got buttermilk and poured it on the root of the thorny bush and started digging it out. And the disciples said, why you are doing this? Or just go on this, we can work on the side or away from the bush. But the Chanak told them, Kalanam Kantakanam cha dvideva pratikriya upanan mukha bhango va durato va visarjanam. Evil person and thorny bush, these two things. We must save ourselves from evil people and thorny bushes. This is in Hindi. I'll read the Hindi translation and a Hindi version, and then I'll try and translate. दुर्जन और कांटे इन दो चीजों से बचने के दो ही उपाय है, या तो जूतों से इनका मुंह कुचल दिया जाए, that's दुर्जन, उसके अस्तित्व को ही समाप्त कर दिया जाए, अथवा उनको दूर से ही त्याग दिया जाए. That means you, if you have the ability, then remove the evil person. This is what the sages will do finally. And otherwise, they try to leave him alone with the second option, said you stay away from them. But didn't work, so they tried to get rid of him. So that was the Chanak told about evil people. Now I'm going to spend a bit of time on this word, Bhut Bhavana. Let me get my... It's interesting how here in this sloka, the meaning of Bhut Bhavana is who is the original cause of the cosmic manifestation. So it's addressing the person who is before that is Bhagwan, so it's Lord. He's addressing the Lord. I just picked up, it's interesting, the different meanings, the translated meanings it has got. I start off with Bhagavad Gita 10:15. There, the sloka is Swayam evatmanatmanam vetatvam purushottama bhut bhavan bhutesha dev devo jagatpate. Here the meaning is of origin of everything. And then next one, for This is Bhagavatam 4:18-10. Dogdaram cha mahabhava bhuta nama bhuta bhavana annam apistam purajasvad bhagwan vanchate. Protect of, next one is protect of living entities. Srimad Bhagavatam, this is Brahma, Canto 7, chapter 10, 26. Dev Akhila Desyaksha Bhuta Bhavan Purvaja Disyate Te Nihataha Papo Loka Santapo Suraha. Bhudvam, a cause of all living entities. And sorry, I've got it different. Then 8:22-21. Again, Brahma, Bhut Bhavan Bhuteshu Dev Dev Jagat Jaganmaya Bhut Bhavanya, O Supreme Being, well-wisher of everyone who can cause one to flourish. You see the different, same word, same phrase, but different. In different contexts, is different meanings. Then in Canto 11, 16:4, Gudastarasa Bhutatma Bhutanam Bhut Bhavana. Here is all maintainer of all living beings. And then Prajapati also addresses Mahadev, this Lord Shiva. Dev Dev Mahadeva Bhuta Nam Bhuta Bhavana. Here is addressing, this is the only place I found it addressing to Lord Shiva, the cause of the happiness of and flourishing of all of them. Please don't, or should say, please remember, Lord Shiva is not different from Lord Krishna. He is the one who takes the form of Lord Shiva. And Narad, here in this Canto 2, text 5, chapter 5, text 1, Dev Deva Namastute, Bhuta Bhavana Purvaja. Here he's addressing Brahma, his father, the generator of all living beings. But then Brahma quickly corrects him that no, I am not the generator, Bhuta Bhavana. I did not create anything. All the ingredients were given to me by somebody else. And that is where the Bhagavatam starts. This is where Narad asks about who is that person who created everything. So I thought, I'm trying to, okay. Any comment on this one before I go on to next thing? Anything, a comment or any question on this?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, then
Beautiful explanation of Bhuta Bhavan. Bhuta Bhavan, which is again the super soul or Vishatma, who is the creator, again is in the form of super soul, stays in everyone's heart. That's what the meaning is.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. There's no one meaning to it. There's at least I've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different meanings. The first one is, who is the original cause of the cosmic manifestation. Next one is, origin of everything, protector of living entities, cause of all living entities, O Supreme Being, well-wisher of everyone who can cause one to flourish, O maintainer of all living beings, O cause of the happiness and flourishing of all of them. This is a bit similar to the one, O Supreme Being, well-wisher of everyone who can cause, and last one, generator of all living entities. So I just wanted to highlight that this one phrase, Bhut Bhavana, is got so many different, it's been addressed differently in different places, but yes, it's all the same person, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is addressed to the Supreme. Anybody else, please? Anybody else want to comment on it? Okay, let me go back to the original text. Here in the purpose, Srila Prabhupada is further explaining the responsibility of our government and the king. It is a fact that the government's duty is to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead is satisfied by the activities of the people as well as by the activities of the government. It's not just the citizens, but the government as well. So it's the responsibility of the king. In those days when there were kings there, the responsibility of the king to ensure that the citizens' spiritual development is also not just the material development, but spiritual development as well. And there is no possibility of happiness if the government or the citizenry have no idea of Bhagwan. If they have no idea of the Bhagwan, they won't be able to worship. And here, King Ben is distorted the knowledge of Bhagwan. He has stopped the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He wants the citizens to worship him. And further on, Srila Prabhupada says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the original cause of the cosmic manifestation, or if they have no knowledge of Bhut Bhavan, who is Vishwatma, or the super soul, the soul of everyone's soul. The conclusion is that without engaging in devotional service, neither the citizens nor the government can be happy in any way. At the present moment, neither the king nor the governing body is interested in seeing that the people are engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the present government just left it on the religious organizations. In most countries, it's free for the citizens to worship or follow any religion they wish to. And of course, in the communist countries, you don't have the freedom. But majority of the government is not doing anything, establishing any temples or anything, except for in some states in India, but generally it is left on the citizens to organize things. Like we have constructed our own temple. The Gujaratis have got the Bharatiya temple, and the Fiji Indians got the Ram temple here, and Tamilians, they've got their temple. So it's freedom, whichever religion you want to follow. So at least, but the government is not doing anything. So Prabhupada says is rather they are more interested in advancing the machinery of sense gratification. Consequently, they are becoming more and more implicated in the complex machinery of the stringent laws of nature. The stringent laws of nature is that the three sufferings we have, Adi Bhautik, Adi Devik, and Adi Adhyatmik, that natural disasters keep coming, and we all experience the change in climate, and the whole lot of people are concerned about it, and you can see that this is caused by human beings. It's not a natural. The Lord is not punishing it. It's the misusing all the facilities that we have. The Lord has given us, the overusing the facilities, and causes the things to change and suffer. And then we want to, now they want to improve things, just reduce it. But not everybody is in favor, or they are in favor of, but don't want to commit themselves. Like in the know of back in Fiji and some other smaller countries there, they have to shift their dwellings because of the rising seawater levels. But it's all caused by human beings. It's not this misusing of the facilities or the things that we have got. And Prabhupada continues that people should be freed from the entanglement of the three modes of material nature. And the only process by which this is possible is to surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is advised in Bhagavad Gita. Unfortunately, neither the government nor the people in general have any idea of this. They are simply interested in sense gratification and is being happy in this life. So they just worried about this lifetime. They're not worried about the future, or most of them. They don't have any knowledge that we do have life after this. The word Nijasasane in his own governmental duty indicates that both the government and the citizens are responsible for the execution of Varnashram Dharma. Once the population is situated in Varnashram Dharma, there is every possibility of real life and prosperity, both in this world and the next. So it's very clearly Prabhupada is explaining in his purport what the responsibilities of the government as well as the citizens are. So in our case, the government is not doing anything. So we have taken the responsibility in our own hands, and or not just us, all the religions, I would say, they're doing whatever they can to promote the spiritual development. I'll go on to Varnashram Dharma for a while. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text 13, Lord says, Chaturvaranyam maya srishtam guna karma vivagasha tasya kartaham apimam videhi akartam avyayam. According to the three modes of material nature, this is the translation, and the work associated with them, the four divisions of human society are created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am at the non-doer. The Lord has created this thing, but it's not the doer of it. Lord Krishna has created a system by which we will be elevated systematically. So he has created, he's done everything, but we human beings are not following it. In West, someone can say caste system is not there, but these are classes of people present everywhere. Even in India, this Varan system has been distorted and turned into caste system, which is not what the Lord has created. Varnashram provides a social structure for spiritual advancement. Is the two words Varan provides for one's material needs in uncomplicated and harmonious way according to one's nature. This Varan is the work class, is the occupation, and ashram provides the time-wise progression of one's spiritual commitment. As the two words, Varan is the occupational duties, and ashram is the system in which we develop our spiritual advancements. Earlier in Varna system, it was very easy for a person to acquire his career as they will learn from childhood. But in today's time, a child's nature could be something else and doing some other work. Lord Krishna is the one who had made this system, but he is not the doer, which means that he has not put people as Brahman or Sudra. Lord created the system, but he did not put who should be a Brahman, who should be a Sudra, who should be a Kshatriya. For example, you would have gone through this system, a school system, where the school has a system that according to their marks, they put into different classes or different year levels or different groups, like A, B, C, D, or these days they give the names. So here in New Zealand, they label the classes by the same names of the teacher in charge of that class. But it is, the class placement is based on the performance in some sort of exam or something like that. And the school provides better facilities for the, nowadays they provide better facilities to lower achievers and compared to the top achievers, but normally there's more facilities or better facilities than top achievers. But the school does not put or choose the students who should be in this level, who should be in this one class, who should be in that one. They have a rule. This is based on the students' performance. They themselves sort of choose which level they will go into, depending on their performance, on their ability. Like another example I want to give is like a judge giving judgment based on rules of the state or the government. Somebody gets 5 years and somebody gets 10 years, but he's not based on the whims of the judge. He doesn't decide, doesn't give dish out punishment on how, on the look of the culprit, but he goes through he hears the prosecution's evidence and the defense, and then based on the rules that already put in there, the government is, the judge doesn't make the rules, the government makes the rules, and the judge dishes out the punishments according to the rule. So caste system that we got in India, or the Indians, is the distortion or misinterpretation of what the Lord created, the Varna. The modern caste system has been a source of great exploitation. You know, those people coming from India, they know that this is a regrettable state of affairs has resulted because of some power. I mean, people are misappropriating the system. The system known as Varnashram was meant for cooperation, not exploitation. This is what Srila Prabhupada tried to reestablish the system, but wasn't much successful. The Bhagavad Gita states that Varnashram was based on qualities of and activities, that is, attitudes and aptitude. recognizing that different people are good at different things, Varnashram provided them vocations that match their specific strengths and abilities, thus enabling them to maximize their contribution to society and to do their own well-being. The division of labor in Varnashram was cooperative, similar to the division of labor among different bodily parts within the our body parts. We have got different activities, different duties of each body part. Within the social body, Brahmins are like the head, Kshatriyas like the arms, Vaishyas like the belly, and the Sudras like the legs. In the positioning of the head at the top of the body and the legs at the bottom is not discriminated. This is where these things should be. We can't put head at the bottom and the leg on top. So the placement, this is what I'm trying to explain, that the Lord put these Varanas at different, is in charge of different things. It wasn't discriminatory. He just tried to put them in the correct places. Just as all the body parts are valuable in their position, so too are all the social class in the position. Unfortunately, this cooperation-centered system was sabotaged by the caste by birth dogma, which was propagated by power-hungry among the upper classes to establish this supremacy over the lower classes. And you can, though presently we don't want to use the term Varnashram, the society has all these classes of people. We particularly Indians and Hindus don't like the word Varnashram because the moment you mention Varnashram, it takes us back to the caste system and all the discrimination. But you look at any government, the prime minister and the ministers, they have their own advisors. It's just like in the old days when the king had the brahmanas, the gurus, and all the brahmanas as advisors, like in Dasratha's time, he had, if I remember correctly, he had 13 brahmanas in charge of different divisions or different departments. So even today's government, most of government have advisors, like during COVID, we had the health professionals advising the government when to put in restrictions, or when to take it out, or when the restrictions are there, what sort of restrictions, what are the, what we should do, what type of restrictions, so when to release it. So though the government or the prime minister was coming forward and announcing, but the background, there were all a group of people who were advising the government. Even in every department, every ministry, they have their own advisors. The latest one is that they tried to put a restriction on the, I think is the three waters one. They tried to put a restriction that it could be amended with a majority of 60% of the parliamentarians and the law society or the law professors. They advised that this is not a proper system or proper way, could lead to some unwanted problems later on. So what I'm trying to say, that though people do in the Western society and other society, all government, they have advisors. The only thing missing out is the government not taking any responsibilities in the spiritual development of the citizens. They most of them, as Prabhupada says, are not aware of the need for spiritual development of the citizens. So if you don't know something, you can't expect. However, looking at some of the things back in India, like the Prime Minister gives out Bhagavad Gita to any foreigners, foreign leaders come visit India, or when he goes anywhere, he gives out the Bhagavad Gita as a present to them. So some sort of very minor, they are the present, they are sort of spiritual, I don't know the details of it, but from the outside, looks like they are more favorable to spiritual development than other governments. So what I'm trying to say that varnashram, some form of it, varna, is being used in the modern society, today's society, but neglect the ashram part of the spiritual development. So that's all I got to contribute. Anybody wants to add to it or comment on it or got any question?
Hare Krishna. Such a beautiful explanation of the Varnashram system once again. After that text 19, as you mentioned that the Varnashram is not maintained nowadays because we are just going to the Varna, which is again exploited. But there is no ashram side by side. What Prabhupada is stressing, Varna and ashram should go simultaneously. Then only the prosperity can happen. We do the activities, but we don't know the outcome of the activities, whether it is right or wrong. And hence we get the reaction. And that is what Prabhupada is trying to make us understand. That in this present society, we are doing the Varna work without having any knowledge. But we don't understand the complexity of the work we do and what will be the result afterwards. Once we get that knowledge, then we will be on the right path to progress, both in Varna and Ashram, that is in material activities as well as in the spiritual activities. Thank you, Prabhuji. Explained so nicely.
Anybody else? Hello, anybody else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much for your time today. If any devotees have any questions or comments, if not, we can bring the class to a close now. Thank you so much for your time, Prabhu.
Anybody?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you very much for practical application of the verse and explaining us and doing so much of research and analysis. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Okay, thanks for listening. I hope you are listening. The text is Tasya Ragyo Mahabhaga Bhagwan Bhuta Bhavana Paritusyati Vishwatma Tishtato Nijash Shasane. The translation is, O noble one, if the king sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original cause of the cosmic manifestation, and the super soul within everyone is worshipped, the Lord will be satisfied. So this is the important thing, that to ensure that the super soul within everyone is worshipped. This is how, not just to the king, it's a message to us as well. The super soul sitting within us, we need to do things that will satisfy him. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Dandavad pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhyo kripa sindhubhyo
Sindhu Patitanam
Ketan pavan prayo Vaishnavyo namo namah. Grantharaj
Ananta
Srimad
Koti
Bhagavatam
Vaishnavrinda
ki
ki
jai,
jai,
Srila Prabhupada ki
ki
jai,
jai. His Grace
Bhakta
Rasparayan Das
Vrinda
Prabhu
ki
ki
jai,
jai,
La Prabhupada ki jai.
ki jai.